Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Gooners and Gloves Podcast channel. In today's video, it's going to be the 73rd Gooners and Gloves Podcast, and I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts and reactions to the Arsenal-Liverpool game in the Premier League at Anfield. Currently, it's about 15 minutes to go before kickoff, so I have decided to restructure these videos slightly. So going forward, I'll be recording the intro, which you're hearing right now, just before watching the game, and I just think this will be good because it means I can get the video out slightly quicker. It means I can focus my analysis more and don't have to worry about first doing the intro and then getting all mixed up and then doing the analysis. So I just think this will help to improve the videos a bit. So this will be the structure going forward. For the intro, I'll have the two logos up, the Arsenal logo and their opponents, the competition and the stadium. So as you can see here, it's Arsenal versus Liverpool in the Premier League at Anfield. And yeah, so I just think filming the intro before the game will be a bit better. It will mean that I can organize my thoughts more heading into the actual analysis rather than doing the intro and then going on a bit of a tangent and then getting onto the analysis. So hopefully this helps to improve the videos a bit, and also hopefully it allows me to get the videos up for you guys slightly quicker after the game, which is nice because obviously the sooner I can get the video up after the game, the better. So yeah, so honestly for me, this is a game that still matters. I still care about this game. It's a game that to me is still important. I know Liverpool have won the championship and obviously are currently Premier League champions. I understand that, but it's a game that still matters to me. End of the day, it's still good for bragging rights. Ultimately, you don't want Liverpool beating you. I mean, obviously they didn't beat us at the Emirates, and it would just be nice to not allow Liverpool to beat us. It'd be nice for us to get our first win at Anfield in 13 years. That would certainly be very nice if we can pull that off. And ultimately, it's just good bragging rights, you know. Like, sure, Liverpool won the title, but if we can stop them beating us twice, at least they don't have that satisfaction of saying that we beat Arsenal, if you get what I mean. So yeah, it's a game that still matters to me. Obviously, it's also because we're still trying to actually secure Champions League football, because obviously we still haven't, like, mathematically we're not yet qualified for the Champions League, so we definitely need to try and pull that off. And ultimately, you just want to win every game. End of the day, you want to win every game. Obviously, we just got knocked out of the Champions League, which was a very painful result to take, so it'd be a great way to bounce back if we can beat the champions in their own backyard. So yeah, ultimately you just want to win every game. Obviously Arsenal have been in a bit of a rough patch of form recently. The PSG results, the Bournemouth result, you know, the Crystal Palace result, etc. So it would just be nice to turn that all around, get a big win at Anfield. So hopefully we can pull this off. So as always, I'm going to analyze the first half immediately after the intro, and then I'll do the second half. So that's going to be the structure of these videos going forward. I'll have the intro just before the game, where I'm going to show the competition, the stadium, the logos, etc. I'll then have the first half analysis, and then I'll have the second half analysis and concluding thoughts. So I think it's going to help to offer a bit of structure to the videos, and it's just going to mean that I can actually organize my thoughts a bit better. So hopefully you guys like this little change that I've made. I think it's going to be a lot better filming the intro before the game, because then as soon as the first half ends, I can just get straight on to talking about the first half and not forget anything, as opposed to doing the intro, which may then lead to me forgetting something, etc. So hopefully you guys like it, and of course it means I can get the videos out slightly quicker. But anyway, I'm going to go and watch the game now. There's about 10 minutes to go before kickoff, so I'm going to go watch the game. I'll catch you guys for the first half analysis. Hopefully we've had a good start, but yeah, I'll catch you guys for the first half analysis. Okay guys, so I just got finished watching the first half, and unfortunately it was a terrible first half. I can't lie. Normally, you guys know me, I'm positive. I try to back the squad as much as I can, but I cannot defend that. That was a horrendous first half. We got absolutely played off the park. Liverpool just completely were all over us. They demolished us in that first half, and they deservingly lead 2-0 right now, and arguably could be leading even more. They did have a really good chance through Jones that didn't go in. They had a chance through Salah, so arguably they could be even more goals up right now. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. I mean, like 2 goals in a single minute is just not acceptable. The defending was completely all over the place, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm upset. I am upset with that first half, you know, and especially considering that, like, our squad literally gave Liverpool a guard of honor just before the game started. So like that's supposed to motivate you and fire you up. Think, okay, like, it didn't feel good to give that team a guard of honor, let's go out and beat them, you know what I mean? It didn't feel good to give them a guard of honor, so let's go beat them. But that's not what Arsenal have done, and now Liverpool are 2-0 up. They were absolutely all over us. They had, I think, about 4 or 5 shots on target, loads of possession, loads of just chances, passing, everything was just on point for Liverpool, and we just looked weak, we looked depleted, and I'm upset, I'm hurt. Like, it's already been a rough couple of weeks for Arsenal, obviously losing both games against PSG, losing against Bournemouth, drawing against Crystal Palace, etc. So I really, you know, we really wanted to see a response, but so far we're just not seeing that response from the squad. I think the squad looked depleted, they looked weak, they looked just deflated. Like, I understand they're 2-0 down, but the fact is Liverpool are just running rings around us right now, and yeah, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. In terms of the goals, so first it was a Cody Gakpo goal, and I honestly, like, fair play, it was a nice goal, but I also think that we defended really poorly. I've got to be honest, I think our defending was really bad for this first goal. So Andy Robertson was left completely open with nobody to mark him, and then he crossed the ball across to Gakpo, and again, nobody was marking Gakpo. So it's just like, how can you save that? You can't blame David Raya for it. It's not David Raya's fault that that ball went in. in. It was just a really good ball from Robertson, and then Gakpo got a great header on it. But my problem is, why was nobody tracking Andy Robertson, and why was nobody tracking David Raya? You know what I mean? Like, Ben White, like, Robertson got completely past Ben White. Ben White just wasn't even there to track him, and then nobody, you know, neither Kivior or William Saliba were marking Cody Gakpo, and so Cody Gakpo was able to get the header across, and that's just really annoying, because like, we know how good our defense normally is, so it's just really frustrating, because even in the PSG game, you know, previously, I don't think our defense was particularly good, and now obviously we've just seen that again, our defense has been poor. Like, it was completely exposed. Andy Robertson gets the ball across, Cody Gakpo gets the goal. In fairness to them, it was a great goal, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the ball was really good, and it was a great header from Gakpo, but I just really think that our defending could have been so much better for this goal. Like, I think we really could have defended way better. You know, nobody was on Robertson, nobody was on Gakpo. And obviously, you know, we know that Robertson's fantastic at crossing. We know that Robertson's, you know, one of Robertson's biggest strengths is the crossing. Robertson's crossing is absolutely fantastic. We know this. He's an excellent fullback. He's really attacking, and he can get the crosses across. And we know that Cody Gakpo has got really good heading. So the fact that nobody was marking Robertson when he was open and nobody was marking Cody Gakpo is really frustrating. I'm not going to lie. That's really irritating, the fact that nobody was marking them. And then the second goal, literally less than a minute later, Diaz scored. Luis Diaz scored. And in fairness, this one wasn't quite as much the defending as it was just an excellent goal. Like, in fairness, this one was just a fantastic goal. It was a really good ball across to Szoboszlai, and a Szoboszlai with a great ball to Diaz, and Diaz just has an empty net. So in fairness, this one wasn't quite so much the bad defending as it was just a fantastic goal from Liverpool. But again, you could argue that we could have done better. You know, Szoboszlai just got completely past our defense, and then again, Luis Diaz was just left wide open. Our defense was completely split by that pass from Salah. I think it was Salah who passed to Szoboszlai. So yeah, in fairness, that second goal wasn't quite so much bad defending, but like, the defending still wasn't good. And I mean, to concede 2 goals in a single minute is not acceptable. You know, 20 minutes in, Cody Gakpo scores, 21 minutes, bang, 2-0. I mean, that just isn't acceptable at all, and I'm very, very disappointed to see it. So yeah, goals from Cody Gakpo and Diaz, assists from Robertson and Szoboszlai. Obviously though, I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool. As much as we've been really bad today, they've also been really good. Like, they've been fantastic. They've been all over us. They've been pressing. They've been dominating. Obviously, Cody Gakpo got the goal. Diaz got the goal. Robertson with a fantastic ball to Gakpo, and Szoboszlai with a fantastic ball to Diaz. So I don't want to take anything away from Liverpool, but yeah, it's just really frustrating. Obviously, there is still a second half, and we have to just hope that we can get something from this game. But yeah, I'm extremely disappointed at what I've seen out there. Our players looked bad. I mean, they didn't play well at all, and it just sucks, you know. And I don't like being like this. I never enjoy being like this. I never enjoy being, you know, negative. It's something that you guys know. Like, I'm a positive fan. I'm a positive Arsenal fan. I get behind Arteta. I get behind the squad, and I fully back them. But seeing stuff like this, I just have to call it out. Like, it's just really, really disappointing. And quite frankly, I don't think we've been dominated in a game like this since we lost 4-1 to Man City back in April of 2023. I think ever since then, this is probably the most dominated that we've ever been. I mean, Liverpool have just been all over us, and to concede twice in a minute is just really, really unacceptable, you know. Robertson completely left wide open, Gakpo left wide open, then Szoboszlai was left wide open, and Diaz. Like, all 4 of the goal contributors today, Gakpo, Diaz, Robertson, and Szoboszlai, were left wide open. So it's just so frustrating that we defended poorly. Sure, we had like a couple of chances, namely Bukayo Saka, but Bukayo Saka had a decent one where he dribbled past it and just hit it over the crossbar. But really, aside from that, there just weren't that many chances, you know, and there just weren't a lot of moments of positivity. Obviously, I'm hoping that we can have a more positive second half and that we can pull something off. I'm hoping. I don't know if we will, to be fully honest with you, because I think Liverpool is just absolutely dominating us. We can only hope. But still, this first half was really, really poor. One of the worst first halves of football that Arsenal have played in the season. Maybe even the worst. It could be up to you. But definitely, it's one of the worst first halves that Arsenal have had all season. And obviously, it's just really, really frustrating. Especially given that we literally just gave Liverpool a guard of honour before the game started. And now we're out here proving to them exactly why we gave them that guard of honour. They're out here destroying us. So yeah, but rant over. Now we can only just hope that we have a better second half. So hopefully now Arteta can make some changes and can hopefully just inspire the squad to at the very least just rescue a point. Like, getting the win might be a bit, you know, might be a bit ambitious, but at the very least just try and rescue a point. It's not impossible. We can do it. Try and rescue a point and ultimately just try and get something. But yeah, that's going to do it for my analysis of this first half. There's just not a lot to talk about. Very few moments of positivity from Arsenal. Liverpool completely dominated us. Ball from Robertson to Gakpo, 1-0. Less than a minute later, Szoboszlai to Diaz, 2-0. Bang. We're already 2-0 down in, you know, in a minute. So yeah, but anyway, that's my little rant over with. Hopefully now I'll have a more positive analysis for the second half. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Really, I don't like being negative like this. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like doing this, but sometimes you just have to. So hopefully I can have a more positive analysis of the second half, and hopefully we can rescue something from this game. But I'll see you guys for the second half. Okay guys, so I just got finished watching the second half, and oh my word, what a game. A very dramatic second half, and if ever there could be a game that could be described as a game of two halves, that was it. Obviously you guys saw in the first half, I was negative, I was annoyed, I was frustrated, but certainly a lot more positive in the second half, because Arsenal managed to rescue a 2-2 draw. That's in spite of the fact that they were down to 10 men. Obviously it would have been nice if we could have gone on to win the game. However, given the circumstances, being 2-0 down at Anfield, obviously Anfield is already a very tough place to go, so to be 2-0 down there and manage to complete the turnaround and very nearly score late on, obviously Odegaard very nearly managed to get the third goal. So it's a, I'd say it's a good result. I'm happy with it. I'm definitely very happy with the squad, and it's a lot more positive of a second half, and definitely going to be giving them a lot more positivity than I did in the first half. Obviously in the first half I slated them, and don't get me wrong, the first half was still really poor. Like, this doesn't change the fact that the first half was really poor. However, it does mean that I can give them a lot more positivity in the second half, because that was a much improved performance from Arsenal. I really liked what I saw in that second half, and we did a lot better there. It was really good from Arsenal. Brilliant performance. So pretty much let's just get straight into it. So the half started out fantastically as Gabriel Martinelli immediately managed to pull one back, and it was just the perfect start to the half. It's exactly what we needed. Obviously we needed to get that first goal back, and Martinelli managed to do that just a couple of minutes into the second half. A good ball from Trossard, and then Martinelli gets the finish. Really happy with that, because we definitely needed that. We needed that. Obviously that first half we were absolutely dominated by Liverpool, so I think we kind of just needed to give Liverpool a bit of a sucker punch, if you get what I mean, to kind of like basically stop them pressing us so much, and I think we managed to do that. Gabriel Martinelli got the goal, so it was really good, pulled the goal back, got the crowd excited, and it was just really good. And you could definitely see from there that Arsenal were a lot more motivated. You could tell that Mikel Arteta really did give them a bit of a bollocking at half time, and it clearly worked, because Arsenal looked way better in the second half, and I think we played well. I'm really pleased with the way we played in the second half, and definitely very pleased, and I'm just glad I get to be a bit more positive, especially because it didn't feel good to be so negative in that first half. So it feels good to actually be a bit positive now and be really happy. And yeah, I think the squad deserve it. I think it was a really good turnaround. I think we did really well. I think we definitely managed to pull the game back, and I'm very pleased. So anyway, so after the Martinelli goal, I think Arsenal started to look really good, and I think till about like the 60th minute, I think we had really good momentum. We were creating good opportunities, and we just looked good. I think we looked more lively, we looked more threatening, we looked more aggressive, and it was just good to see the squad get a bit lifted after that goal, because obviously, as I mentioned before, they were quite deflated, they were quite downcast in that first half, and clearly Liverpool were just all over them. So it felt really good to see the squad actually show a bit of fight, show a bit of bottle, and ultimately just show some resolve, and we were able to get the draw. I'm obviously not saying that I'm not going to sit here celebrating a draw, because a draw is still a draw, but given the circumstances, given that obviously Liverpool were 2-0 up in their own stadium and we went down to 10 men, which I'll get to in a second, I think it's definitely a good point to get, and it definitely helps us with our Champions League qualification with second place, so we can't really complain too much. Also, it means that Liverpool were unable to beat us this season, which is just a nice thing to have. Obviously, 2-2 draws, which I think is just a nice thing to have. Obviously, Liverpool are still champions. I'm not taking that away from them. They're still champions. However, it just feels good that as their closest title rivals, they were unable to beat us. I think it just gives us a bit of personal satisfaction, instead, like, we didn't win the title, but it's still just a little bit of personal satisfaction, if you get what I mean. So it's good that we were able to get the draw. But anyway, so after Martinelli's goal, we definitely looked lively, we looked aggressive, and I just think we looked a whole new side out there. I think whatever Mikel Arteta said at halftime definitely worked, because we just looked a whole different side. And eventually, after enough pressing, Mikel Merino was able to score the second goal. So Martin Odegaard from long range took a really good shot. It was a very good shot that almost went in. However, it got a good save from Alisson, and then Mikel Merino was in a good position, was able to head the ball in and get it to bring it to 2-2, and this was just fantastic. It's actually Merino's second goal of the season against Liverpool, because he also scored against Liverpool in the Emirates game earlier on, and now he just did it again against Liverpool. And also, speaking of goal scorers against Liverpool, Gabriel Martinelli seems to love a goal against Liverpool. It's actually his 6th goal against Liverpool in all competitions, which is the most, like, out of every team he's played, it's the team that he scored against most. So clearly Gabriel Martinelli loves a goal against Liverpool. But anyway, that was fantastic. So Merino was able to complete the turnaround with a great goal, really good finish, composed from close range, and fair play to Martin Odegaard for also creating the opportunity. But unfortunately, Mikel Merino did go on to get himself sent off. It's a good and a bad game for him. It's his first red card in an Arsenal shirt, and obviously it's yet another red card for Arsenal this season. We've had a lot of them, and this is yet another red card. But can't really argue with it. It was a really silly challenge from him. He was already on a yellow card, so it was quite silly from him, especially the follow through. So Mikel Merino was sent off, which of course means that we won't get to play him in the Newcastle game, which is definitely annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that is annoying. Obviously, we still want to be beating Newcastle Newcastle, especially because they've beaten us 3 times this season. So to lose Mikel Merino for that game is certainly a bit of a blow. However, it is what it is. Mikel Merino did get the goal today, so he still had a good game and he looked decent. But obviously, just a bit of a shame the way it ended for him by getting the red card. And after that, naturally, Liverpool did start to take control a bit more because we were down to 10 men. We started to get a bit more defensive. We saw some defensive substitutions come on, like Alexander Zinchenko came on, Ricardo Calafiori, etc. So, naturally some defensive substitutions coming on, Kieran Tierney as well. So, it's understandable. I can't really blame Arteta for that. Being down to 10 men at Anfield, trying to press the game is just asking to lose. So I can't really blame Arteta for going a bit more defensive. It's similar to what we did at the Etihad when we were down to 10 men there. So, yeah. And I think it's just I think it's something that Arsenal is starting to get quite good at, because to think that Arsenal has been to both the Etihad and to Anfield this season, been down to 10 men and not lost, I think is really impressive, because there's not many teams that could say that they could go to both Anfield and Etihad in one season, get sent off in both of them, and then go on to not lose the game. So I think that's definitely really good from Arsenal. But yeah, so after that red card, Liverpool started to take control a bit more. Understandably, they started to press the game. And I will say Liverpool's counter-attacks today were fantastic. I will give them their props on that. Their counter-attacks today were lethal. They were dangerous. They were aggressive, and they just looked good. Those counter-attacks were scary, and Liverpool obviously had some really good opportunities. Szoboszlai had another one. I think Curtis Jones had one which just went over sorry, not Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, that's it. Harvey Elliott had a good one which went over the post, so definitely some good opportunities. As mentioned before, Odegaard nearly managed to complete the turnaround when he shot a ball that was just wide. It was literally it was agonizingly wide, but unfortunately it didn't go in. And from there, Liverpool then almost got the winner themselves, because Andy Robertson managed to get it into the net. However, Andy Robertson was offside. It was a fantastic initial save. I think it was Darwin Núñez initially who shot the ball. David Raya made an absolute worldie of a save. Seriously, this save was absolutely fantastic. And then Andy Robertson from an offside position taps it into the empty net, and it's disallowed. But shout out to Arteta for that. Shout out to David Raya for that save initially, because had that one gone in, that would have been a goal, because Darwin Núñez was in an onside position, so that definitely would have been a goal. So massive shout out for David Raya to saving us. And yeah, that's how the game ended, 2-2. A highly entertaining game, and it just feels good to be able to get, we didn't get the win, but end of the day, many people thought we'd get destroyed today. Many Liverpool fans said we'd get destroyed, so it just feels good to go there, get a point. Despite the bad form, we managed to get a point. Despite going down to 10 men, we managed to get a point. As you guys know, I'm critical when I need to be, and I was very much critical of that first half, but fair play to Arsenal for the second half. We played way better, and I think we actually did really well. I think we played well, we pressed the game, we did well, and ultimately we were able to rescue a point, which is helpful. It does help us in second place, it does help us for the Champions League, so we can't really complain too much about it. Anyway, next one is Newcastle. Hopefully we can get the win there and seal Champions League football and second place once and for all, and move on to next season. But anyway, I'll catch you guys at another podcast soon. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support recently. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in another podcast soon. Bye bye.